Arsenal's Myles Lewis-Skelly is on Manchester United's list of potential left-back targets this summer. Sky Sports News understands the England international is being considered by the hierarchy at Old Trafford, with Newcastle's Lewis Hall and Eintracht Frankfurt's Nathaniel Brown also among United's potential targets. Lewis-Skelly signed a new 5-year contract at Arsenal last summer, still held in high regard at the Emirates, having been one of their best academy graduates of recent seasons. But he's only started one Premier League game all season. Ricardo Calafiori, a big part of that, of course.
It's been a great start to life at Manchester United for Michael Carrick, and Harry Maguire has got right behind his head coach. But should Carrick get the job on a permanent basis? This is what Maguire has had to say. Carrick coming in, he's been amazing. He speaks really, really well. He's tactically very, very good. I think we've got to finish the season strong, and I think he should go right into the mix of the other candidates and let the process begin. It's going to be a big recruitment in the management department, and I'm sure the hierarchy will get it right. So Harry Maguire there having his say on Michael Carrick potentially getting the job on a permanent basis. Good morning to Charlie Austin. Right, we've heard a lot of support for Michael Carrick, but this is the first time that we've heard one of the current players getting behind him publicly. Does this all fully depend now on making sure they get Champions League football?
Of course, and you have to look at it and think they're going to get Champions League football. And why I'm saying that is because Arsenal City have got the gap away from United, but Manchester United have made that gap away from Liverpool, Chelsea and Aston Villa, albeit only a few points, but they feel like they've cemented their place in there. So they've got to finish this part of the season strong after the international break to be in there, and that certainly does depend on that, because if you look at it, when he come in, it was more to steady the ship and stabilise them, but he's done way more than that. So I don't see why his name is not at the top of the list to be the next Manchester United manager, but also the rest of the group and the players he's made better and showed belief in them. Because if you look at the overall of what the players have now come on and shown what they can do, then this is shown in them results that they have got.
Sometimes at certain clubs, we know that the board can listen to players when they're unhappy with a manager stroke head coach. Will the board be swayed by players backing the interim manager to get the job?
I think this is a difficult one for Manchester United, because this is what happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And when he came in interim and then they got given a job, and then 18 months, 2 years, then it all fell apart. So it is a difficult decision to make. But from where Manchester United was almost 6 months ago, 4 months ago, even before he took over, to where they are now, it's chalk and cheese. And so for me, you look at it and you think, Michael Carrick, can he take Manchester United, however, to the next level? Because it's all right doing it on a short-term basis, because that's all he's doing at the moment till the end of the season. But if they look at the bigger picture, and we're saying 18 months' time, can Michael Carrick take them as far forward as he can in the league and cup competition? Because what we also need to remember with Manchester United this year is they have played the most less games, because first round League Cup out, FA Cup out. So they'd only actually play, was it less than 40 games they've had to play this season?
Well, which is certainly going to help them now, isn't it? Because the players should be fresh enough. At the very top, you said, when I asked about Michael Carrick getting the permanent job, you said there'd be other names in the hat. What other names can you come up with?
Well, the two that you're looking at would be Zidane and Xavi. They would be the two names that you'd look at. They're the global names. You think they've done Barcelona, they've done Real Madrid. You look at them and you think, are they the powerhouse names to come to Manchester United and be that manager that takes them back to the glory days as such? But can't the adaptation from European leagues to the Premier League and the hustle and bustle of 38 Premier League games that are 100%, 100 mile an hour, even if you are top and you play bottom of the league, it is all guns blazing. That we see a few weeks ago with Arsenal at Wolves when they drew, that's the biggest issue. So it'd be Michael Carrick, but then you've got other names in, like I said, with Zidane and Xavi.
They're both out of work. Are you only looking at out of work managers because you've got Luis Enrique? Before Carrick was appointed, there was a lot of people saying Unai Emery. There's been a lot of support for Eddie Howe, but they're all in jobs. Are you only looking at out of work managers?
I am at that point, but then you look at, take Eddie Howe out of the equation for argument's sake. Luis Enrique, fantastic job. Would he leave the job he is in? Would he leave that? Yes, again, it's Manchester United, globally the biggest club in world football. So, of course, that is the one. And then you look at Unai Emery. My biggest thing is with Unai Emery, can he get his team to the next level? Because we say it with Arsenal, it never happened. We're saying it with Aston Villa, it's so close, nearly getting there to the next level. Well, that certainly hasn't happened because they have dropped off. Regardless, we talk about PSR, regardless, we talk about injuries, they have certainly dropped off.
They've got a 6-point gap over sixth.
Yes, but
7 games to go.
But I remember being sat on this show 3 months ago, Tom, and I'm having a conversation with an Aston Villa fan talking about they're in the title race. They have never been in the title race. So that's how I see it. That's how I see it on that front. And with Eddie Howe, he's got a tough job at Newcastle at the moment, and he is the right man for that club, which obviously we'll come on to later.
Yes, we will. Right, we'll speak to Manchester United fan in a moment.
That caused disagreement was going back to Friday. Manchester United, of course, in action. Stevie, you said this should have been given as a penalty. United fans thought they should have been. Nedum said it wouldn't. Let's just remind you of exactly what happened. And Andy, what do you think about this?
Competing for the penalty area, quite a neutral zone in the penalty area.
And Andy, what do you think about this?